A formula is a special type of equation that shows the relationship between different variables. It typically has a real-life application. A formula will have more than one variable. If we look at this first formula, it's the subject of the formula is V. It's a geometry formula that finds the volume of a rectangular solid. I want to change the subject of this formula to W. I want to solve it for W. So I need to isolate that W. Since the L and H are multiplied by the W, to get rid of the L and H, I'll do the opposite. I'll divide. Now, whatever I do to one side of an equation or a formula, I have to do to the other side. So you see that the L's cancel, the H's cancel. So I've isolated the W. And I get W is equal to V over LH. This is another geometry formula that gives you the volume of a cone. The subject of this formula is V. I want to change the subject so that it's H. The thing is, this formula has a fraction in it, so it'll be easier to solve if I get rid of that fraction. I can get rid of the fraction by multiplying by 3 or 3 over 1. You see that? 3 over 3 is canceled. But whatever I do to one side of the formula or equation, I have to do to the other. So I'll multiply the other by 3 or 3 over 1. So what I'm left with is 3V equals pi r squared h. Now I need to isolate the h. Since it's multiplied by pi r squared, to get rid of that pi r squared, I'll do the opposite. I'll divide by it. See, pi over pi cancels. R squared over r squared cancels. But whatever I do to one side of a formula or equation, I have to do to the other side. So I'm left with h equals 3v over pi r squared. The subject of this next formula is P. I want to change it to W. Okay, but W is part of a term, so I'm going to keep that whole term together and get rid of the 2L. So subtract 2L from both sides. So P minus 2L equal 2W. Once I've isolated the unknown term, now I can isolate the unknown. I can divide by 2. So if I divide the right side by 2, I have to do the same thing to the left side. So I have W equals P minus 2L over 2. All right, let's go back a step to where I had P minus 2L equals 2W. I could, in solving for W, rather than, I'll divide the 2W by 2 to get the W by itself on the right side. On the left side, I can divide each term by 2. So another form of the same answer could be P over 2 minus, let's see, those 2's cancel, L. So either of those solutions would be acceptable. This next formula converts Fahrenheit temperatures to Celsius temperatures. So the subject of this formula is the Celsius temperature. We want to change it to the Fahrenheit temperature. First thing we need to do is get rid of the fraction. This time I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. You see 9 over 9 cancels, 5 over 5 cancels, but whatever I do to the right side of a formula or equation, I have to do to the left side. Multiply that by 9 over 5. So I have 9 over 5c equals f minus 32. I'm looking for f, so I've got to get rid of that 32. Since it's subtracted, to get rid of it, I'll do the opposite. So I have f equals 9/5 c plus 32. Now, our unknown, our t, is inside of a set of parentheses. So one way to solve it is to distribute the p. So I have a equals p times 1 is p plus p times rt is prt. Now our unknown is inside of a term, so I want to isolate that term. So I'll subtract p from both sides. I have a minus p equals prt. Now let's isolate the t. Since it's multiplied by pr, I can do the opposite. I can divide by pr. So I have t equals a minus p over pr.